If it's Christian, we're talking about it. This is the Mike Charleston Show.
Alrighty, well, welcome to another episode of the Mike Charleston Show. Okay, that's take one. That's where I touch the microphone and I'm not supposed to. I'm Mike Charleston, and I'm joined with Sarah.
I'm here.
And Chuck is not here. So no Chuck again. He's actually visiting family. So tis the season.
It is
so
the season.
People are traveling and on their way to go visit family and all that kind of stuff. That's all fun.
Yep.
Speaking of tis the season, so we got a package from a listener.
From a listener. Special listener.
That's right. They're friends. The Grimms, so they couldn't be with us during this time of year. So they sent a package and gave a gift to all of us that were living here.
Yep.
And they met as guests, and we pretty much guessed pretty close to all of them. But here's mine that I got that I thought was appropriate for the show. And it's a coffee cup. And if you're watching on YouTube, you might be able to read what it says. If not, I'll just say it. It says, "Be careful, or you'll end up in my podcast." And well, Pam and Larry, you ended up in the podcast. But no, they were part of the podcast for many years. And so anyways, I just thought it was cute. So
that is cute.
Yep. And you didn't want to show yours off. So it's right over there.
Okay.
But,
I got one too.
Oh, wow. And it is a S with a rose because she's like a rose.
It's very pretty. Anyway.
And hopefully it doesn't smell like a rose. But
wow.
Yeah,
could be worse.
That's true. I'm not a big fan of roses. Roses are red.
I think they're pretty.
Violets are blue. Anyway, so what are we going to be talking about today? Sarah's like, I don't really have any notes. I'm like, yeah, now you know how it feels. So, yeah. But no, we are, so many years ago, back when I was in college, I had debated about what I was going to write my paper on, for school, and I ended up doing it on something else. But I really, really wanted to do it on this kind of subject. And I know we covered kind of around this issue in times past, but let me do a little backstory. Do you want me to
I want to hear
time?
I want to hear the backstory.
You want to hear the backstory? You know the backstory. Man, I got a little cough, so I might have to off screen. Okay, so I got saved when I was 17 and kind of disavowed things. Like I'm like, things are evil. Materialism is evil. Just, money, all that. It was more like St. Francis of Assisi, if you understand where I'm headed. And at the time, the prosperity gospel was on the rise. And so, especially in the charismatic movement, which was where we were a part of, the Pentecostals of old were kind of poor and didn't want to own things. Well, all of a sudden the prosperity gospel came in and that changed everything. Now the charismatics want everything.
Yeah, giving it will come back to you.
That's
Good
right.
measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over.
Oh, 100-fold. Yep. So that's where it started coming in. And I didn't like that. I really did not like the fact that the prosperity gospel was raising its ugly head because I thought it was a false gospel. And I had a couple friends at school that were prosperity gospel people, Joe being one of them. And we would argue all the time. We'd get in the car. The whole trip to Vermont.
Yeah.
Was an argument, basically. And he almost kicked me out. He tried kicking me out in Ohio. And this is from Louisiana, going all the way up to Vermont. Anyways, it was, I was like, really, dude, you're going to kick me out?
It's a long way to hitchhike.
Yes, it is. So he basically just told me to shut up and whatever. But we would get into some of these issues. And some of these issues were very important to me, and just like, I feel like money and things corrupt people. And I still do, actually. And so some of that stuff doesn't change. But the whole premise of my idea and my paper that I wanted to do was that when you become a Christian, you automatically are prosperous. And now I get it. Now there's different levels of income. I understand that. And this is back when I don't know how much I was making, $8 an hour, something like that. Not much at all. The ministry I was working for, I was getting paid $50 a week. So you put the pieces together. I was at school, so I had a place to stay. But basically, when I proposed to you, I was homeless and had no car. So I wasn't a hypocrite. Anyways, and you said yes. So
I didn't marry you for your money.
That is for sure. That is absolutely a fact. Because I had none.
Yeah,
and I didn't marry you for your money.
I had none either.
No, we were poor as church mice, as they would say. So the whole premise of my paper, though, was that when you got saved, you we're automatically prosperous. Now you say, well, what do you mean by that? So when you get saved, especially in the charismatic movement, a lot of people had these dramatic salvation experiences, right?
Yeah.
So what did they get saved from?
They got saved from drugs.
Drugs.
They got saved from alcohol.
Alcohol.
And gambling.
Gambling.
And all the other vices that go
Cigarettes.
with it. Yes.
Cigarettes.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some of those things, but that was a lot of the people would get saved and immediately shed these things.
Right.
And I was like, wow, just by the very nature of people becoming Christians, you don't spend your money on all this frivolous things. Because if you are a Christian, you have a worldview now that is totally different.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought when I first got saved. Okay. So I still believe this, but I also realize that a lot of people, it takes them many years to kind of line up with what I think the scripture teaches about a worldview of Christianity. We got a lot of baggage. It takes years sometimes to get rid of some things in our lives, and including myself. There's things in my life that were out, they creep back in, got to come out, creep back in, get out, and all this. And Sarah's over there going, amen.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, let me see where you're going with this.
Yes.
I'm cautious.
Yeah, Sarah has no idea where we're going, right?
Not really.
Really?
Okay, no, I do.
I like, right here's the notes. Right here are the notes. So that's it.
A lot of notes.
Not a lot of notes.
No, I know where you're going. I've lived with you long enough.
Wow, long enough.
Well, no, long enough to know where you're going with
Yes,
this.
I know. I'm messing.
Okay.
Okay. So how we're going to break this down is more of, let's just talk about, a Christian worldview. Now, I understand that doing or not doing some of these things doesn't make you a Christian, or that even a Christian that does that mean if a Christian smokes that they're not saved? This is not what I'm talking about.
Right.
This is just to upfront that if, I drink alcohol, so therefore I'm not saved, or I drink coffee, so I'm not saved, I'm like, well, there's some debate. No, there is, we're not trying to say, this was in my simplistic Christian worldview at 17. Actually, I was probably 20, 21 when I was in school.
Yeah.
Of just like, okay, everyone should be freed from all of these things. Not realizing sometimes it takes a while for people to come around, and maybe never. Maybe they're like, well, dude, there's nothing wrong with drinking. There's nothing wrong with owning different things or going out or whatever, or having, cool clothes or whatever. As you can tell, I don't have cool clothes. In fact, let me fix my hoodie there. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on over here. Anyways, I don't have fancy clothes and all that stuff. Well, all that stuff shaped my worldview of what Christianity, the Bible kind of, this is what the worldview is, so I wanted to live it, right? Yeah. And same with you.
Yeah, for sure. I got saved obviously when I was very young.
And you guys were poor.
And we were,
Sorry, Melon, not to put it out there.
I was raised in what I considered
really poor,
a poor
but,
family. And, but I honestly didn't care about so many things that everybody else cared about. So I don't know. I was happy to live a very simple life.
Yes.
And because I just love Jesus.
Yeah. Well, and I had a simple view too. And hey, if you just love Jesus, all goes away. The things of this world pass away. So the things of this world are expensive, especially if you care about the things of this world. I understand. Right. And then some of my ideas changed a little bit when I got married and had kids. Like, okay, I have to own things. I have to take care of my kids. I have to take care of my wife. I have to provide things for my family. But do I have to provide the best of everything and live it up as if I'm building my own kingdom here on this earth? No, not necessarily.
Well, I think early on in our marriage, we talked about we talked about everything, but we talked about a lot of these things just...
Mainly because we had to, because we didn't have any money.
Well, maybe. But I think we kind of wanted to think through, we were thinking outside the box. Obviously, when it came to church, we were like, okay, well, why do we do church that way? But even when it comes to family and kids and, people are like, oh, your kids, in America, it's not unusual for people to think that each kid needs a bedroom. Right. And we were like, well, that's not going to work with our house, and then it's like, okay, wait, what do our kids actually need? We want to give them what they need. We want them to have a good life. But just because something is maybe more the norm doesn't make it right. So, I think early on we considered just a lot of things and realized there's a lot in America that we say we need that we actually don't need.
Absolutely. There is, we were just talking about this morning, this generation, the things that they think they need, that we didn't have, that we didn't grow up with.
Right.
It's like my one daughter was just like, well, what did you guys do? Like, what coffee shops did you go to? Like, coffee shops? What are you talking about? Like, we didn't go to coffee shops, and I wouldn't go to a coffee shop because I don't drink coffee.
Right.
But I didn't go to a coffee shop until I went to college, and it was Minneapolis, which is a very progressive city, you know, and there was only a few, you know, at the time. We're talking about early, you know, these are the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
And so it was, we looked up how many Starbucks there were when it first started compared to now, and it was night and day. It's night and day. So things have changed.
Right.
We had no internet. We didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have any of these things that people just have to have.
Right.
But anyway, so I want to bring up some things. And if you're a stats nerd and you like numbers, well, get prepared to be bored. Or you won't be bored. But if you're not like stats and numbers, oh boy, we'll try to make it interesting, because I think some of this stuff is very enlightening.
Yeah.
I was surprised by some of it on some levels, and this is not an exhaustive list by any means.
No.
And some of it is not on the list here because
It's too hard to figure out.
well, it's just, and you'll understand when we get to it. We're talking about houses and cars and things like that. But we're talking about money. So this is the Dave Ramsey Show today. And I am your host, Dave Ramsey. And
how are you doing?
I'm better than I deserve.
All right, good.
Yes. No, this is not. But we are going to be talking about money and just how it shows us our worldview. And this time of year is a good time to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I heard a quote. If I was listening to this podcast and this person was a champion, you know, so pick whatever champion, you know, and they were going through depression, and their coach called them later and says, hey, if you weren't enough before the championship, then you're not going to be enough after the championship, you know? And so it's like, hey, this shouldn't have defined you and whatever. And I was like, oh, that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
But okay, so here are a list of some vices, so-called vices, right? So let's just start with number one. Come on, like cigarettes, right? So like if you struggled with cigarettes, all of a sudden you get saved, boom, you stop smoking. The average person that smokes, this is average, you know, so this is according to my chat GPT and all the questions I could ask it and try to, you know, whatever. But the average person that spends, you know, that buys cigarettes, they spend about $3,000 a year on cigarettes.
Wow.
$3,000 a year on cigarettes. Oh, I changed it for that. Wow. And so that's a lot.
That is a lot. That's I don't know how many cars that we've bought for about $3,000.
Yes.
So that would be like a car, you know, for many of the ones that we bought. That was kind of our go-to price.
Yes, it was for many years. It might go up a little bit more.
Yeah,
but yeah, 3,000.
Wow.
That's
a big chunk.
We could either have cigarettes or a car, and we chose.
We chose the car.
Yes, we chose the car. So, anyways, about $3,000 a year for cigarettes alone. Think about that.
Wow.
Now, here is the harder one to figure out, and that is alcohol. Now, alcohol, because I tried to, you know, I could tell you how much America spends on alcohol a year, but not everybody in America drinks. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, kids under 21, because people do drink under 21. But, you know, legally, you're not supposed to drink until the age of 21. And then people like us, you know, our teetotalers, they don't drink at all. And so it was hard to figure it out. So according to the things that we figured out how much America spends on alcohol, and then the people that actually drink, the percentage was about 50 to 60% drink. And so the average of those that drink comes out to about $1,500 a year in just drinking alcohol.
Wow.
And so smoking and drinking, if you smoker and a drinker, you're averaging about $4,500 a year. Once again, this is average. $4,500 a year, that's a lot. That is a lot. That's a good car payment right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that comes out to almost 400, no, that'd be 4,800. So yeah, about $400 a month, basically, just with smoking and drinking.
Wow.
The two vices that everybody talks about, right? Well, what about illicit drugs? You know, because what we talked about, when people get saved, they stop doing drugs.
Right.
And of course, the most people that are addicted to drugs probably are homeless or in a bad spot anyway, so they don't care about saving money per se.
Yeah, maybe not.
And this was really hard to find out because it's illegal. So it's not,
they don't really record it all very well.
Right. But the best that I could come up with is that they spend about $7,500 a year on drugs.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And that's why we have addicts that steal and do a lot of damage and try to get as much money just for that hit. $7,500 is a lot of money to spend on something a year. So, that's just, we're talking about addictions. Prescription drugs, I didn't even understand that one. So we'll skip it because it was just like $174 a month or $174 a year. That doesn't seem right. But anyways, entertainment. So here's another one, entertainment. This was very, very difficult because what do you mean by entertainment? And my premise when I was coming up with this article was that entertainment, we don't care about the things of this world. Now, I'm a human and you're a human and we like to be entertained at times.
Right.
But let's just assume that we're going to be Francis of Assisi and have no entertainment in our life. Well, you would be saving yourself $1,800 a year because that's what the average person spends a year on entertainment. It's about $1,800, which I thought was actually kind of low.
Yeah. I would think it might be more, but
right. But when you figure it out, that's close to almost $180, $170 a month on entertainment.
Yeah.
I don't know. One event would take that, just like, hey, go into a ball game right there. So I don't know. I don't know about those numbers. It's hard to judge those numbers. Now, here's one I just threw in because I asked ChatGPT, what are some things people waste money on? And it says, well, it depends what you mean by waste, but here are the top 10. And they threw coffee in there. And I was like, you know what? That's an interesting one. Not that I don't drink coffee, but I'm not against people drinking coffee. Yeah. And I don't think it's like a huge vice. I do think it's a problem. People can be addicted to it. And it is a drug. Caffeine is a drug. And so I do have some problems with coffee, but I'm not saying you're going to hell if you drink coffee. I'm not saying that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. This one shocked me. It was between $1,100 and $1,500. So they said the midpoint was like $1,250. So it was $1,100, $1,600, whatever. So $1,250.
Wow.
So let's just say $1,300 or $1,200, whatever. That's a lot. That's about $100 a month.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's per person, by the way. So if you're a couple, double that. All these are per person, by the way. So that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Per person. So if you're a couple that smokes and drinks and does coffee, That sounds like a drug here. You do coffee. Look at all the money that we are just throwing away. And I'm not saying like coffee is a pleasure. It's not a need. It's something that we choose to have, and I get it. People like it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, think about the things we like to say. Well, it's just a little bit here,
a little here, there. A little there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another one was eating out. Now this one has grown in our budget in the last few years because I've taken my wife on at least go out like once a week.
Yep, and that's fun.
Yeah, we try to do it fairly cheap, but going out to eat, what I found this is a little bit low too, but this is average. And there's some people who go out to eat, and some people go out to eat, but it was $2,500 a year to go out to eat, and that's takeout and all that stuff. So that comes out to $200 a month, which I thought was actually a little low.
Well, but if you have to double that because we both spend
that's a good point because this is per person. I keep forgetting about that, per person.
Yeah.
So if you're the school crafts, you're in trouble. So because that's you multiply that by 11, 12, 13. How many people live in their house now?
That's a lot.
You're in trouble. So if it's per person, but so that's average. So that estimated, now that's included drugs. So if you are a drug addict and alcohol, you drink alcohol, drugs, you do cigarettes, you do entertainment, all this stuff, you do entertainment, it comes out to about $17,000 a year, which is a lot of money.
That is a lot.
So anyways, what's my point? Come on, man. And we didn't even get into houses and cars. So
or
this was
fashion.
Fashion. Oh yeah, I tried looking up fashion, and that's hard to determine.
Right.
Once again, we need to wear clothes. We need to drive a car. We need to have a house. And it's like, at what point? My point was that we don't think about these things. We always try to keep up with the Joneses. We always try to have the best. But is that the attitude of a Christian? Well, should that be the attitude of a Christian?
And I think about so many of these things. I mean, they're not all horrible things, but
well, some of them are.
Some of them are.
Yes.
But I don't know, it's really kind of sad when you consider all the money that we spend, and it's basically, so much of this is to, in a sense, buy happiness. And I feel like as a Christian, our happiness isn't found in the things. It's not found in, the stuff that we have, the stuff we accumulate, that's not where we find it. So I would hope. So that's where I feel like as a Christian, I find my joy, my happiness in Christ. I find my joy in serving others. I find, and things that don't really cost money. Of course, sometimes it can cost to serve others. But anyway, so it's kind of sad that we spend so much, and yet we look at our society, and do we have a happy society with all the money that we're spending to make ourselves happy with drinking, smoking, whatever, all these, whatever things are out there? Are they finding happiness? No, not at all.
Well, not really. So, that's usually that we're more depressed than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at therapy, and all the people just are struggling to not make it financially. They're struggling to make it, period. Like the suicide rates are up higher. It's just a tough time to live in, because we're living in a land of plenty.
Yeah.
And that's you would think that shouldn't be the case.
Right.
But in fact, it's the stresses of life of trying to keep up with the image and these things. So the more things I have, the more things I have to worry about taking care of.
Pretty much.
And I'm not against things. Like if you came to my house, you'd be like, you have a pretty nice house. Yeah, I do. It was a blessing. And if you know the story behind it, if you know, you know. If you don't, that's too bad. But I'll tell you sometime, because it's a tremendous blessing that God blessed us with. Our vehicles, we were blessed with vehicles. The most expensive we've ever spent on a vehicle is a passenger van. So we're not living it up here, but and we're not here to pat ourselves on the back, but I didn't make a lot of money. I never have made a lot of money, and it's about average. And now that the kids are moving out, now I have some money. It's kind of nice, but it's the point being is that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I could making a lot of money or not making a lot of money. It didn't matter to me, because my focus was still the same. It was still on Christ and how He wants me to live, and I couldn't care less how society thought.
Yeah.
And so that's my challenge is, on this program, is for people to think differently and to just to get out of their cultural norms, like, oh, we just have to do this because why?
Yeah.
We have a lot of stress and pressure for young people. I was researching this, and I found this fascinating. So the average age of a young person leaving their parents' house. So this was fascinating, that in the West, it's a lot younger. And we wonder why there's a lot more pressure with young people, where they have no money and they're trying to keep up with their parents. Well, you can't. It's impossible. But on the West, so in Europe, it was a very stark contrast. So in the north part, like Sweden, Norway, Germany, all those in the kind of the north section, northeast part, northwest part, it was a lot younger, between like 20, 24. They would leave, the kids would leave their house. That was average. Then you move over to the southwest part of Europe, and those countries like Croatia, Slovakia, some of those countries, I can't think of them all. They're like in their 30s.
Wow.
And you're like, that's crazy. Well, I don't want to live with my parents if you have to, you have to, because a lot of these kids, they couldn't make it on their own, and they had very strong family ties, and they weren't trained from an early age that you have to leave as soon as possible. Yeah. And some of these people even they brought their marriages into their home. Now, that's a little far, but there was, I forget what country it was. Maybe this was in Africa or Asia. Might have been Asia. One of the countries might have been in Africa or whatever. That it was a shame if you left before you got married. Like you just went on your own. It would like shame the family. And I was like, wow, that is so different than the way we live. Like we kind of expect you to like, dude, you're 21. What's your plan?
Yeah.
So anyways, well,
I find it interesting also, like when, we have kids that have gotten married recently, and you see young people. And I think that's, part of this is, I do think it's good, especially as young people, to think through what you do need, because I feel like, you grow up in a home and you're used to a certain standard of living, and well, that's often not how how it starts,
Right.
you know,
No doubt.
and it's okay. And it's okay to, you know, that's what we did. We were like, well, you know, we kind of figured this is what you're supposed to have or whatever. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, we don't really need that. So it's, you know, we can make it without that for a while. And I think that was actually really good for us.
No, absolutely, because we didn't have anything, so we were forced to, and I think that's good. It makes you reevaluate things. Now, we can discipline ourselves so then when we do have money, we don't have to go crazy and be like, I have to keep up with the Joneses. Why? Who said that? So that's kind of the thing. When I got saved, I was like, no, I didn't drink or smoke or do drugs or any of that stuff. But this was just an idea of mine because I knew a lot of people who were getting saved and they were getting off that stuff. And I'm like, well, the prosperity gospel is like, hey, you get saved, you have your life back. You know, and I do believe that I'm prospering, but the way the prosperity gospel puts it, it was like, it's all about money. It's all about stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, my quality of life is changed because now my focus isn't on stuff. Doesn't give me happiness.
Right.
It doesn't give me fulfillment. Christ gives me fulfillment. The church, the fellowship, the people that are around me give me fulfillment, and doing service for other people give me fulfillment, and giving gives fulfillment. And a lot of that stuff isn't taught anymore in those type of churches anymore. It's get money cometh to me. You know, I don't have that clip anymore, but you know, money cometh. You know, money cometh, and it's all about me, what I can get. And that's sad, you know, and so that's kind of the point of what I wanted to write about my paper and really push that agenda. And then I realized, you know what, not everybody believes the way I do. And so that would be kind of a difficulty.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole idea of like, you know, I was just hearing a lot of like, we're king's kids.
King's kids. I'm a child of the king.
So now that I'm a daughter of the king, well, surely he wouldn't want me to be driving in that car. Surely he wouldn't want me to, basically to live with less than other people have because I'm a daughter of the king. Well, I mean, those are the kind of things that I heard. And so it's like, okay, well, and when you first, at least when I first heard it as a young person, I was just like, well, that makes a lot of sense because I am a daughter of the king. So surely he wants me to look like a daughter of the king and have the stuff that the daughter of a king would have. But when you look at the whole of Scripture and you realize, it doesn't seem like it was ever about the stuff, No. So I think we missed it.
And once again, we live in a culture, we live in a society, America, and it's very prosperous. It's a very wealthy place to live, and people have it very well here. I'm not saying we don't have things. I have adjusted. I'm not. Francis of Assisi. I haven't vowed a poverty, all that. I'd like to have nice things when I buy things and, but I also find myself justifying things. And I have to ask God, okay, is this really legitimate or am I just being selfish? Do I want to do this? Like I bought myself a griddle not too long ago and I had to justify that purchase because I wanted it for myself. But I can justify it because I've been cooking supper a lot lately.
You have.
So you get to
the master.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Chef. I don't know.
Master chef. Oh yeah. Make some good food out there. So anyways, if you're wanting a griddle, you should wait for a Black Friday deal. That's what I did. And the 30-inch Blackstone was pretty good. Sponsored by Lowe's. So anyways, no, we are not sponsored. Anyway, so that was kind of my idea, my thought. And so anyway, you can give us feedback, what you think, because I know that now I am almost 50. And I still believe a lot of this. I really do. It's a little adjustment of like, hey, like, should a Christian not do any of these things? Like, they can drink coffee and they can go eat out and they can have some entertainment. Right. But it's like, to what level? How much do I want to give myself over to these things? Especially if I'm having financial problems. Right. And a lot of people just don't want to cut out these things because they're like, well, I really love this. And I'm like, but what's the real purpose here? And especially when you can't. Like you're you're running out of money and you got little ones at home and that's a big wake up call, So anyways, any final thoughts on this or you just like,
I think
want to end the Dave Ramsey show?
No, I think it's always good to consider.
Oh, I didn't even include credit card debt.
Oh.
Yeah, because credit card debt's
it's a big one.
The interest of that is just payments and all that. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole because I'm like, I'll be crucified at that point. So anyways.
They're dangerous.
They're very dangerous.
No, I think it's always good to consider, all of our resources. Obviously, I think of time, but I think of money for sure and how we're spending it. And I think that we should be good stewards of what we have.
Right.
And obviously, as a Christian, I think we should always be grateful for what it is that we have and stop looking at what we don't have.
That's a good point. No, I like that. Yeah, I'll end it with this story here. So I was working with a guy who has since passed away. So he's going to be in the podcast even after the grave.
Oh.
But he worked with me, and he had some vices. Now, he would have claimed to be a Christian, but he would have been one of those that he would have been like, don't know about that.
Yeah.
He really struggled with a lot of things. Now, it doesn't mean you're not a Christian, but he did come to me and he says, hey, man, boss says that you're really good with handling money. Would you mind talking to me? So I talked to him one day. We're working. And I was like, well, okay, like, what do you spend your money on? And he's like, well, and I said, be honest, man. I'm not going to judge. I really am not going to judge. I know he smoked. So I was like, let's just start with the cigarettes. How much do you spend a month on cigarettes? And this dude chain smoked. He's like $300. I was like, $300. And this was like 15 years ago.
Wow.
I was like, dude, right there's a car payment, because he was having problems paying his car payment. And I said, how much do you spend on alcohol? And he was like, I was like, come on, man. He's like, I have no idea. $200 a month on alcohol. He drank and smoked a lot. Wow. And he wasn't married, so he was out dating women. And so, you're paying for, dates and things like that. So we figured, like, dude, if you stopped doing just like 2 or 3 things, he'd have $700 a month, basically. Wow. And I was like, right there's your car payment that you're wanting to save. Yeah. And let's talk about car payments, And so we got a lot, but he was just like, but dude, you don't understand. I have to have my cigarettes. And I'm like, see, I don't think you have to. And but as a Christian, I don't need substances or things to get me over the edge. I have Christ. Yep. And so that gets me through. And so that's what I would encourage you. Don't put your hope and your joy in things and ability to buy things and to have things, because that's just going to lead to disappointment. Read Ecclesiastes. That's kind of what Solomon, his conclusion was. So anyways, I don't want to be a killjoy this time of year. Like, oh, great. Now every time I open a present, I'm going to be like, do I need this? No. Enjoy your time of year, and it's fun to give and fun to participate in things like this, and be like Pam and surprise us with these gifts, and all that. That's fine. But just think about why we do these things, and where our money really is going, and are we really prosperous? Are you rich?
I pushed record. It's fine.
The Mike Charleston Show.
All right, we are joined with Elisabeth. There she is. Yes, there she is. And Sarah's still here with us for this segment of, we're doing a little game show thing, but what are we doing? I have no idea. I gave you a suggestion.
Well, I'm doing that suggestion.
Since we were talking about money and all that, I figured we'd do like the Price is Right type thing.
Yes, that's what it is.
Are we going to do the yodel guy?
What?
Is that Price is Right?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't know. So
okay, yeah, I'm too old. Okay, what do you got there, girl?
All right, so this is Price is Right. So I'll say something, an object.
Okay.
Sorry.
And you'll have to tell me what the price is.
And the closest one without going over?
Okay.
Without going over. Well, which do you want?
Maybe it's easier.
I don't know. How good are you at math?
Yeah, because we're really close. We'll figure it out. Just go ahead, because I'll get a lot of these for me. Probably not. I do not go to the store.
All right, we'll start with the first one.
What do we got?
A gallon of milk, national average.
National average for a gallon of milk. This is an easy one for me.
All right,
now, you're talking about like a drugstore, at a Walmart, just the national average. Do you have a guess? Maybe I should go first, because I'm just going to go on what you go.
Yeah, no, I want to see what you would say.
$5.25. And you say?
I'm going to say, that's tough because I know what it is here, but national average. I'll say $5.50.
$5.50.
And the correct answer is $4.14.
Wow, so you were the closest then.
Yeah, I was closest.
Wow, so we must have higher milk.
Yeah, I think also like skim milk, 2% milk, those are cheaper.
Oh, yeah, we don't.
They do vary slightly. That's true.
Okay, next. We were way off on that one. Yeah. And we live in the poorest state, so come on.
Next one. Nike running shoes.
Nike. Well, okay. This
Oh.
is a little like what are we talking about? Because you got Jordans, which are absurd, and just
All right, well, just pick a price.
This-
running
is-
shoes, like so jogging shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with like Nike Air.
Just Nike.
Just Nike running shoes.
Nike running shoes. Why do I have to go first on this one?
All right, I can go
You know.
first. I'll
Okay.
say 80.
Wow, that's what I was gonna say.
see.
I'll go 85.
It's 110.
110. I was
Wow.
closest again.
Whatever.
Woo.
Am I right or am I right or am I right?
Barely.
All right. iPhone charging cable.
Oh, wow.
Typical USB-C.
So not the little
Oh,
plug thing.
just the cable.
Just a cable? Okay. I'm going with $10. $10.
See, every time whoever goes first, it's like, that's what I want to say.
Well, then go 11.
I'll say 12.
It's 19 to 29.
What?
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you just say we should get some new chargers? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not for
They're
those prices.
expensive.
Yeah, no.
All right. Flat screen TV, 32 to 55 inch.
32. Who's buying a 32 to 55 inch TV these days?
You want to go first?
Well, we were just looking at these at Sam's Club or Costco or whatever it was, and we saw a 103 inch. Woo, man, that was big.
That was big.
And it was like, I don't know, $3,000. But 35, so 35 inch, we looked at that and we were like, imagine that was like a big screen when we were younger. And we were like,
Yeah.
wow. That was
32 to 55.
So that, I'm going to say that depends. So 55.
It says the approximate retail range, but it's depends on size and brand.
Right.
but-
So
Okay.
55 could be a little bit more than a 32 or
Yeah.
35. I'm saying $225.
I'm saying 400.
Well, you both got it right because it's 200 to 500.
All right. Look at that.
That's kind of lame, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. They're all like ranges because
Yeah.
they vary.
Yeah,
Right,
sure.
they do.
Sure.
All right. The next one is wooden dining table.
A wooden, I know what we pay.
Like with chairs?
Table.
Just a
Just the
table.
table.
Just a table. You got to guess? I know
I
what we
mean-
paid for our tables, but
I'll say 300.
300.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, how good is this wood table?
It's wood table.
I would say 800.
Wow.
Wow.
No, it's not that
It's
much.
300 to 800. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
I mind the better quality one, evidently.
I was gonna say it really depends on the wood and like
Right.
Yeah,
how
see,
heavy
when I
and-
was coming up with this game, I was like specific number. That's a big range.
Hey, I like
there.
this. We can both get it right.
That's right.
This is
We
cool.
are-
Go
we
ahead.
are
Got
getting
another
right.
one?
Yeah.
All right. Tank of unleaded gas, full tank.
Unleaded?
Unleaded, sorry. 12 gallons.
Whoa.
A
tank?
12-gallon tank?
For 12?
Yeah.
Oh, national average?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know what it is here. But let's just
I mean,
say,
right now gas is low.
I'm going to say it's going to be $3 a gallon, probably national average. So 12 gallons, $36. I'll go with $36. And I'm going to go ahead and do that
Yeah,
for
I'll
me.
say 40.
It's 42 to 50.
Yeah, woo! That's
whatever.
me.
Because the price per gallon is like 350 to 420.
Dude, it's
Wow.
like $2.40 here.
I think I saw 216 yesterday.
Phew, yeah.
So anyway,
People
whatever.
need to get out more.
I couldn't imagine
Move
paying
to Louisiana.
couldn't imagine paying 420 for a gallon.
Yeah, no.
Well, you also make more than $8 an hour. So
Oh, okay.
All right. Bottle of shampoo, 12 to 16 ounces.
Okay. I have no clue.
Okay, but this is like so much a range because
Right,
like
is
there's
it Tresemme?
VO5.
VO5.
Or there's like
Or Paul Mitchell.
yeah. So, but average for that size bottle, I'll say
What size
you
bottle?
go first.
12 to 16 ounces.
12 to 16.
So
I was
just a
hoping you'd
standard.
bail me out a little bit here. I'm going to guess $6. $6 or $7. Six or seven.
Wow.
No.
I'm gonna say $4.
Whoa. I pay too much for my shampoo.
All right. The correct answer is 6 to 12.
Ooh.
Okay.
No, the correct answer is 6 to 7. That's what it said.
I was gonna say I spend more for mine, but I feel like mine's a little bit more expensive.
We go to Costco. We get it in gallon
I
size.
do not. I do go to Costco, not for shampoo.
All right. A paperback novel.
A paperback novel. Well, on eBay, they're $1.99.
We just went to Barnes and Noble, and I would
Yeah.
say they're usually
$17.99, about $18.
15 to 20.
15, yeah, 15 to 20. But yeah, if we're going to do ranges,
Yeah, I'm going to say 15
from
to 20.
10 to 25, 15 to 50. I'm going to say 15 to 20.
It's 10 to 18.
Okay.
All right, good.
Yeah. Your book. You can get Sarah's book for about $12.
Yeah,
If you go to
great.
Amazon, search her book. You can do a lot of stuff in flip flops, but should you? What's it called? What's it called?
You can run in flip flops, but is that the best way?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
All
It's
right.
right back there. There you go.
All right. A bag of potato chips.
Oh.
16 ounces.
Well, is it the price on the bag or what you actually play
is
at the
it
paper
Great
register?
Value or Lay's? Like, does that matter?
It's just average retail price.
Because the price on the bag is absurd.
Yeah, they
And then you
are.
go to the register and it's like 2 for $5.
I'll say 4.
Yeah, $4. Let's go for $12.
It's 4 to 6.
Yeah.
4 to
okay.
6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
Okay.
That wrong one.
Coffee, 12-ounce bag, grounds or whole bean.
I have no idea,
Oh,
and it really depends. I'm sure.
I'm sure it depends, and I have no idea either. But I'm gonna just guess because I
How many
never have
ounces?
done-
12-ounce bag.
Oh, 12-ounce bag.
I'm gonna say $4.
$4. Ooh, man, I was thinking like $12.
Maybe I don't know.
$1 an ounce. Does that sound about? I'm not a coffee drinker. Either are you.
No, but I did buy coffee some time ago in a bag.
Well, how much are those
an
K-cups that we
experiment.
get? How many ounces are those? About an ounce? Because that's like 25 cents.
No, they're more like 50
50 cents.
Anyway,
I'm going with $12. I'm going with $12.
And you're going with
I'm going with 4. It's not 12.
It's 10 to 15.
Yes.
Maybe you're thinking of like a smaller bag.
Maybe.
She's thinking of
I don't-
Folgers.
I just, it does depend on the brand. If you get the great value, the little small bag, I'm sure it's cheaper.
No one is getting the great value. Listen.
Anyway, I don't buy coffee, so I don't know. But anyway, that was fun. Thank you.
Oh, that was it?
Yep.
That's the last
All
one.
right. I think my guy didn't go over the mountain. And if you don't know what that means, then you really don't know Price is Right.
Oh.
It's the yodeler. And you got to get
Okay.
close and you go, no, 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 no. And he climbs up the mountain. And if you go too far, he falls off.
Wow,
Yes.
I really guess I
Oh, my
don't
goodness.
know
I know
the
what we're
prices
doing
are-
tonight. We're going to show you a video of the
Oh, yay.
mountain game, the
Okay.
yodeler. So, all right. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Music with Sarah.
What song do you like?
All right, babe. We are here for the Song of the Week.
Song of the week. Here we go.
Yeah, this one's live version from Passion 2023. So that was a long time ago.
A long time ago, way
2
back
years.
then.
2 years ago. But what's the song called?
So this,
What's the song?
This is called Christ Our King
Christ our King. Let me go ahead and play it. So yeah,
by Passion.
by Passion.
And the first time I heard this song, it was just the chorus, and I was like, "Wow, what is
There's
that?"
a lot of versions of this, right?
There are, and it just kind of was one of those that gets in your head, and it's hard to get it out. You just sing it all day long, and so that was
The
sometime.
chorus is definitely one of those that is catchy. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
and so it was sometime after that I heard another version. I was like, "Oh wait, there's more to the
There's
song.
more.
Like how that's
Wait,
that's really
there's
cool."
more.
So anyway, this song has just been something I've been singing all week. It's been something I listen to a lot and I sing a lot, and
Yeah,
so I'm like,
yes,
all
you
right, I'm
do.
going to share it with everybody. So anyway, it's just one of those simple songs that people have probably complained that it's like a 7-Eleven song or something because it just repeats things a lot. So the verse just says, "We wait for you, Lord. We wait for you, Lord, for your justice, your mercy, revival in our city. We wait for you, Lord." That's the verse. And then
Christ our Lord.
the chorus says, "Christ our King, be enthroned, be lifted high. Christ our King, be forever glorified." That's the whole chorus. And I don't know, like there are some songs that I like because I just feel like it's just
anthem?
praise to God.
Oh, no.
Okay, I mean, I guess it could be like an anthem, whatever. But it's like, I just, I feel like we can't praise him enough. When you think about how good God is and all that he's done, it's like, there's just no, you can't come to the end of singing. It's like there's just more, and you just this
So like
song.
one day you're going to be, when I think of his goodness and all he's done for me.
Oh,
when
that's
I
a
think
good
of-
one.
Oh, okay. Not
That's
that
a
one.
good.
Okay.
But and I really love when it gets to the bridge. It says, "Let the hopeless come to Jesus. Let the dead come back to life. Can you hear your people singing hallelujah?" And I know he can hear me singing because I sing all the time and I
Yes.
sing loud. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing.
And then it says, "Let your glory fill the city, every nation, tribe, and tongue. Can you hear your people singing hallelujah?" So this song is just like, to me, just this giant praise. And of course, like when I first heard it, Passion's the one that has done a lot of the versions, and they, I've never been to a Passion concert or a
Conference. Right.
whatever they do, but I've seen videos, and it's like you have, I don't know, some lot of thousands of people.
Lots of thousands, yes.
All
like
singing
56,000 or
Yeah,
something,
like
70.
it's
Yeah.
huge, and I'm like, wow, like that's just like, to me, that's a dream come true, is to be like singing with
Our
thousands of
daughters
people.
went
Yeah,
a
they
couple
did.
of our son-in-law and daughters.
And like that's, to me, that's what I look forward to most in heaven, is like just being with maybe millions, who knows how many people that were all there and just praising God. And so I feel like this is one, you know how I've talked about before, like what songs could we sing in heaven?
Right.
I feel like this, "Christ our King be enthroned, be lifted high, Christ our King be forever glorified." Like we could sing that for like
We
1,000
could.
years,
We could.
you know?
Yeah, we probably will.
So anyway, but it's just, it's a great song to get in your head and just to praise God and, you know, think about all that he's done for you. So
It's catchy, that's for sure.
it is.
The chorus is pretty catchy. I mean, as catchy as it is, I don't know the verses, so maybe because I just know the chorus.
The verses aren't the catchiest part, but the chorus is, and I do, like I said, I love the bridge. I love thinking about all the hopeless coming to Jesus, the dead coming back. Like these words are just like, even though it's not super deep, I feel like there's still so much richness there.
Right,
So.
no, and the music helps build, and like it's a typical worship song.
Yeah. Well, and I love when it says every nation, tribe, and tongue. I always like songs that
Yes, you
have
do.
every nation, tribe, and
Anything
tongue.
with around the world or people joining
Because I
together,
just think
because
of
it's
everybody coming together, and
No,
it's like,
it's-
and that's what he wants. That's the church, is every nation, tribe, and tongue. And so often, you know, we just think about us and our people and our little communities, but it's like the church is so much bigger than that.
yeah, we're going to be joined with all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that today, about Nigeria
Yeah.
and the suffering that's going on over there.
Yeah.
And those are our brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, literally our brothers and sisters. And we should do something about it. You know, we shouldn't, but I mean, our government, you know, would be nice
Yeah.
if they did something about it. But,
Yeah.
you know, some genocide going over there. But I don't want to ruin the song by talking about
Anyway,
genocide.
right. So go check out the song.
Yes.
Go listen to it.
Christ
see what
our
you think.
King. There's a lot of different versions.
Yeah.
So
Probably a lot of good ones. I've heard several. I've never heard a bad one. So
That's true. So cool deal. Sorry, I paused. So didn't mean to do that. All right. Well, thanks, Sarah. And I guess we don't. Is this the last episode? I always like say this is the end, but I think we have one
the
more.
last segment, not
this
the last
segment?
episode.
Yes, this is the last segment. I think so. Anyways, all right, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
The Mike Charleston Show is brought to you by Fellowship of Believers. For more information, go to our website at fellowshipofbelievers.org. Thank you for listening. We hope we have encouraged you to stand strong in the Lord Jesus and grow in Him.